TGIF Warriors, and I mean it. Hello, Angelo. Yes, Stella's still a team and a partner. He just doesn't do much face anymore. So that's a story, but he's still active. Sometimes you could catch him on the Flow Show. Hi, Sinatra, Mike, AJ. All hell the coach for the wonderful week he's led us through. Oh, okay. Thanks, Brand, Patrick, Kay, Glenn, James,
Hey,
Richard.
good morning, Coach.
How are
Didn't
you?
get a chance to write to you yet. Good morning.
You didn't have a chance to what? Write to me? Oh,
yeah. I just it's been a scramble this morning, but good morning.
All right. Well, be my pen pal.
Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Kay.
Good morning, Kay.
So we got this little brief pop
A
over
pop,
50.
yes. A pop for the pops.
All right. Did the pop happen during the statement and then it gave it back afterwards? Give us a rundown.
Absolutely. We popped during just after the statement. We kept the pop going for the best part of the press conference afterwards. But Ueda did put a bit of a cap on it when he talked about the outlook, the meetings that they are going to have with market participants about the reduction in the bond program. Said it was going to be a substantial or considerable amount that they are going to reduce by, but it would take a certain period to put it all in place. But spread out over a period of probably a couple of years. But it would start to be put in place right on the July meeting, which is the next one, end of July. And then he also said that it was possible that they, depending on the data, they would hike already again in July, where the market was expecting, of course, rather Q3. So that capped it. But then really what happened was that as soon as Europe walked in, all the euro crosses went absolutely bonkers to the downside. And euro was very heavy. I think the market was running the short-term market too short yen, and they got it a bit in their face. You know what? It's Friday. The saloon doors are freshly painted, so beware.
Okay, so euro near the lows of the week.
Yeah.
Do you think that 106 is going to be taken out?
I'm not sure whether it's going to be taken out, but I think it's still the most dirty shirt around now. There was this interesting comment by the French finance minister this morning when asked if the political crisis could become a
economic,
and he said,
okay.
He said yes. So the euro took a bit of a hit on that one, and then there's a lot going on in those French politics. I've spoken a lot about it, of course, on the Flow show this morning, about the left trying to make a coalition to counter the far right, but also to counter Macron. The problem is that they have such diversified programs, each of them, that it looks a bit tough. So everything is weighing on the euro. Spreads are moving out in the eurozone. At the same time, yields are coming off elsewhere. So euro really got a bit of a hammering this morning.
Isn't it crazy, Kman? Like you can just imagine that French official when he said that, his communication director is probably standing in the background, slapping himself in the head, going, "Oh my God, what an idiot! I can't believe you just said that." I mean, seriously.
There are sometimes those finance ministers in France are a bit radical. But well, he might be. I'm not going to say it loud. We don't do politics here, but he may be leaning to the left himself.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the good point. Good point. Yeah.
All right, so that was a false breakout in cable, and right, and before it did this, I thought we were going to 26.
Important level, just below here. Important level, 680, 90. Call it. We're actually on a short-term trend line right here at 90.
Yeah, it looks pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, it has held like 3, 4 times, 3, 4 attempts, and now we're back here. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
looks
you know,
vulnerable.
yeah, maybe down to here. Just a measured move of this range on a breakdown would take it under 26, I believe.
Could be.
I'd buy it down there. The commodity currencies holding up the best. Aussie holding up the best, has isn't close to the low, but maybe we even get 65.5 if the dollar follows through.
Mm.
Uh, yeah,
Quite an
uh,
interesting, market this morning, because you have all, well, barring those peripheral and French bond yields, but you have all the other bond yields are coming off. I mean, dollar yields are coming off, German yields are coming off, all of them, Aussie, UK,
U.S.,
all lower.
U.S., U.S.
Yeah, they're all lower, the US as well. And then at the same time, equity markets are a bit vulnerable. I think it's a dangerous market for risk today in your well, it has been already, but it's a dangerous day for risk today.
So
Especially going
yesterday,
into the weekend,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think I'll do anything new, but we did have another breakout in TLT.
yeah, yeah.
So this is an ascending triangle that measures near par, up to
Mhm.
par, just a range there. So, um, you know, bonds. When's the
If you
last
if
time
you
you
go on
saw
the
when's
if
the
you go on
last
the
time
second,
any of you guys saw bonds performing with S&Ps down? It's a long time ago.
yeah,
When's the
That's a
last
risk
time?
off, baby.
When's the last time you saw that happen?
15 years ago. Just kidding.
I
It's been a
know
while.
it's been a
It's been a
while.
while. Yeah, it's been a while.
So bonds outperforming equities this week. Interesting. I thought, I tell you what, if you're a gold trader, you're a brave heart because it sure looked like we were going to get a breakdown yesterday.
yeah,
And
unless it catches a safe haven bit, because you can't buy anything else.
maybe they're paying attention to what's happening on the northern border of Israel. There was like a record number of missiles launched. It could
Yeah,
be a
that as
new
well.
front. Yeah, new front, escalation of that war. So that could be it. Also, WTI is up as well. I'll tell you what, the thing that impresses me a bit is, you know, Canada isn't showing relative strength compared to the dollar. So
No, well,
I'm still thinking there's a top developing here.
a top developing. Yeah, but I think McClem is keeping it a bit under the cosh, the Canadian dollar. But it's a bit like the rest, you know. It's a little higher, but the dollar is not really advancing that much versus stuff like the Canada or the Kiwi, for instance. Swiss even less. Yeah, so much going on the crosser side. It's a tough read,
Yeah,
but I mean, looking at, no, I'm going to say, yeah, the Canadian dollar is not one that I want to be long of right now. Not the dollar side, but the Canadian dollar, is one
yeah.
that I don't like to be too long of it right now.
Well, I mean,
I'm
everything else is challenging, you know, the highs that Canada made. I forgot what day this was. Was it Monday? Monday or Tuesday? And we haven't gotten back to new highs where, you know, cable's taken out that low and Euro's taken out that low.
Hey
Aussie
Dale,
has,
do you have your microphone near your mouth?
yeah, people have been saying that they can't hear me. It's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm kissing it.
Oh, no. Lucky
Well,
microphone.
Yeah, lucky microphone.
I love you, microphone. Come home with me. Sleep with me, microphone. You're such good company.
That's an image I can't actually get out of my head now. That's
Oh,
really
sorry, man. I'll pay
sorry.
for your psychiatric visits. Anyway, so yeah, like a chop fest this week, kind of. Don't you think?
But I mean, it really looks a lot like like a pure risk of day to day. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah, it
see.
really feels like it. Especially if we S&P is just above that 5,400 line. Imagine that we we would like go and test or perhaps break a little bit under that 53.70.80. I wouldn't I wouldn't like risk today at all.
Okay. The Dow really out underperforming. Look at that. I still think there's a rally. We'll see. I don't know. Are we lower on the
Did
week? This
did
just looks sideways, doesn't it? Go
um
ahead. Go ahead, Phil.
do you mind if I show you a few things?
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah,
I
I'm gonna well, first of all, I agree with what K-Man's saying here. I mean, it's an ugly looking week, and when you see the dollar performing the way it is, oh, I want to show you guys some K-Man was mentioning this in the chat room, and I said this as well. This is the ForexAnalytix chat room. He was mentioning that Five Magics, which is in the other room, which is our macro room, was talking about share buybacks. And there's a blackout period with a big portion of the S&P 500 companies that are in restriction right now as of today until the 19th. I've had a bunch of people actually texting me. I was talking about it in the other room. Anyway, this is the ForexAnalytix chat room. If you guys are curious, just this is all of us chatting all morning long over the last hour, actually. Anyway,
Over the last 12 hours.
12 hours. Yeah, K-Man's been here for he's been here since 3 o'clock in the morning, UK time. So the thing is though, I've gotten a lot of texts from people over the last couple of days talking about this. And I think it's worth noting that it's not one thing that's putting it all together, it's putting it all together. And I think that's like the fact of the matter is you've got risk off, it's at the end of the week, you've got European political risk, you got the BOJ that's done what they've done, and I guess technically you can say we've also set up in a false breakout. Those of you that are in the ForexAnalytix chat rooms kind of know the setup I'm looking at right now regarding this, but that false breakout right there is a bit of a risk. Channel supports coming into play with some of these yen pairs, like the euro yen specifically. You got the euro dollar that's broken below the 107 level, which we're coming to triangle support. And I actually thought we'd be at triangle resistance before support. Obviously, this European political situation has really developed, come out of nowhere. Say, yeah, I mean, it's come out of the woodwork over the last 2 weeks. Some of you in Europe would probably argue that it hasn't come out of nowhere, but the markets were caught off guard. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, everybody was talking about, the dollar and making a fresh low for the year. But here we are, actually, the euro turning lower, and we start trading below 106.50. Dale, where are we going in the euro? Where's the dollar going to go?
105.20 if we take
Right. So you're going to get the dollar really strengthening here. And then you look around at
Right.
like European markets, you got the DAX that is now has broken. That is freshly, it closed on support last night and then broke lower last night. You got the French markets that completed the double top, but I mean, there's a lot of downside there if you really, take a view out, you know. The FTSE even is flirting with, lows here in a wedge breakdown. And yeah, we can look at the US equity markets and say, oh, we're just insulated from it all. But if you zoom in on the price action, just here, let's do it this way. That right there could set up with some sort of like evening star formation. So I'd be real careful with equities here. As K-Man just said, it feels very risk offish. I mean, look at yields everywhere. So you could go look at just take a look at yields. There, it's bright red. I mean, everything across the board, all continents, everywhere. Fixed income is ripping right now. So, that's another risk. Then you got crude oil that's up in everybody's face that is just going to make things worse. So I don't know. I'm sitting there. I would be thinking very defensive. One of the things that the US markets are really good about and US traders and North American traders and America traders, whatever you want to call them, they're good at buying things every single day. But that doesn't mean that the music's going to play every single day. And it is Friday. There's some risks out there. And, you have to just be extra careful. And then you even have, the dollar MEX that's back above 1850, which, I'm going to just show you guys technically because I was short. I was farting around over here after making what I made on the long side on the dollar MEX. I saw this dark cloud cover and I shorted some dollar MEX that day, just really small. And then, Shine Bomb's comments ripped it back up and I closed it. I'm like, okay, screw that. I don't want to short this momentum. And then, we had this big reversal yesterday back below 1850. Today we're back above it. And, you get a little risk off and currencies like this that are up already 1% can be up 2 or 3% by the end of the day. You start getting some real carry trade liquidation coming in to the market. So I'm not saying it will because it's still flirting with 1850. I wouldn't be so sold on that. I'm just saying that these are the things that, as traders, no matter what asset class you're trading, you should be looking at. You should be looking at what's happening in the euro yen, considering the massive amount of yen shorts in the market. And I'm not talking retail, I'm talking institutional that are carrying yen shorts for years. You start flirting with support levels in currencies like the euro yen, that could be really devastating to a lot of balance sheets and a lot of P&Ls globally. And P&Ls are like it's like and Kman, you've managed bank books. I've traded really, really large trading accounts for firms. And when your P&L starts to move, that's when you start looking around at your open position saying, all right, cut that. That's got to go. This has got to go. And it becomes a domino effect. P&L doesn't matter until it does. And then you have somebody tapping your shoulder saying, time to get out of that. So it's one of those things that you have to be really careful. Kman, can you give us a little bit more flavor on your thoughts on how it all came together overnight? Because when I first jumped in the, here's oh, it's not there. That's the same chat room, but that's the trades room. When I got up this morning, I said, hey, I just got up, but kind of catch me up on what's happening. And I started going back and reading through all the headlines. How did everything just kind of come together overnight?
It all came together. Well, it started already the days before the European issues, right? I mean,
Right.
Euro crosses were already on very on the defensive, but I think what happened today was that the real short termers, they bought the dollar yen, or mainly the dollar yen, I guess, on the Bank of Japan. But then it all happened during and just after the UEDA press conference when we had that Lemaire comment about a potential financial crisis, and then the spreads between France and German bonds yield were widening to uncomfortable levels, very uncomfortable levels, and that's where it really all kicked off. And I think the market was when all those euro crosses started to turn, the market went like, hey, hang on a little bit, because equity market's lower, and we need to get out of there. And that's where it really started to snowball, especially for all yen pairs, but especially, I think the one that really got hammered was the euro yen. And look at the euro Swiss. They picked up their role as safe havens again, or at least less crappy things again. Euro Swiss has absolutely been hammered since
Decimated.
the European elections, and yeah.
I had somebody. Let me. I want you to continue on with this. Your summation of this, But I just want to say that there's somebody that I believe, Dale, you've had him on here, Albert, can't Marco, Albert Marco. Have you ever interviewed that gentleman?
Probably.
Actually he goes on with Tony Nash that you just had on this week,
Oh,
earlier this week.
I know
He's
who he is. Yeah.
yeah, I've chatted with him before. I've interviewed him and he was, he was putting in an argument that the Swiss is not, it's not a safe haven currency anymore because of their big holdings of US equities. I beg to differ. And I think the market's really been showing you this specifically today, but more importantly, all week, all the last 2 weeks, right, K-Man? I mean, look at the Swiss franc, how it's done against everything.
Yeah, and that was not your expected move either.
No,
Swiss was expected to retrace. That's what we've been talking about as well. Expectations for retracement, but then at
I
some
I
stage,
bought it. Yep, I bought it.
finding an offer in the Swiss franc and start to go the other way around again. But
Right.
this is and that's where I always say like all dollars are not equal because you can look at euro dollar, which is more than half of your Dixie, but then look at you can't buy other dollars like the dollar Swiss or the dollar yen because of the euro dollar, right? Because they all move their own in their own way, especially when you talk about risk.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think we have to be really, you see the Swiss is outperforming the dollar. It's showing you right there that it is a very, very strong and well bid currency, especially after getting beat down so hard in the first half of 2024. I'm not saying that I won't sell Swiss francs at some point. Maybe when we're like, whew, it seems like the coast is clear. That might be the time to start selling Swiss francs again. But I played the Euro Swiss on the long side technically because where we were at, and then I got out of it. I took a 20 some odd pip loss and I said, screw that, I don't want to do it anymore. And you can see how it is just it's just coming out of its shoes at this point. So sorry, K-Man, I didn't mean to interrupt and get into a Swiss conversation, but going back to what you were saying about it's all coming together. When yields all started to break down, is that kind of the moment when you're like, oh crap, what's
Well, I
happening?
mean that started to happen. That started to happen, and bizarrely, the U.S. yields overnight, which that was a bit of a strange one. That even in the Asian time zone, where U.S. yields normally don't move at all, they started to come off a little as well. But yeah, I mean, it's mainly the European Open. That's where it really all kicked off, and yeah, market coming in, not and it's what I said on the flow show as well. We've been trading dollars for 2 days over the CPI, PPI, FOMC. And
Yeah.
then you wake up the next morning and you say like, oh, hang on, there's a lot of crap going on in Europe. So let's hammer all the rest now.
All right. Well, Dale, this speaks to your TLT. I mean, it could rip.
Yeah, well, like I've been saying for a while, I'm expecting it over par. So, yesterday to me was another breakout. So it's going to challenge those highs from late 2023, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like everybody has the argument, wow, so much supply, and how are bonds going to rally? Bonds rally when the poop hits the fan. People go, well, I don't want to be anywhere else. And there is another
Well,
alternative to owning stocks. I can own bonds,
well,
right?
up until this little time period here, bonds were treated just as another risk asset. So this is a little different because the bonds were actually leading equities down or putting pressure on equities.
Yeah,
Now bonds are rallying and it doesn't seem to be supporting equities. That's different.
yeah.
It
You
used to be
know,
that way in the old days, but
and the back in the olden days, that it
yeah,
used to be that way.
yeah, back when covered wagons, yeah.
Yeah, right. Hey, I want everybody just to keep in mind Bitcoin is bouncing here. Now it's bouncing here we are as we're, it's been kind
Yeah.
of grinding higher all night. I would just watch the 66,000 level. I think it's very critical. I don't have any view on it other than it is a pretty high beta risk play, and considering that it's rallying right now, it's telling us that North American traders are stepping in, trying to buy risk. But I don't know if Bitcoin's bigger than the FX market. It's not, by the way. So
Yeah.
that's why, I see FX going one way. People are trying to buy Bitcoin down here, saying stocks are going to recover. But, there's a lot of traders out there that haven't really seen a down market. COVID doesn't matter, or COVID doesn't count. COVID was a scare, and that lockdown lasted for whatever, and stocks recovered literally a month and a half later. So the majority of people, they might say, oh, I saw COVID, but you've never really seen a bear market, right? So a lot of younger traders are automatically thinking, oh, I'm going to buy risk here. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I'm just going to say, watch Bitcoin at 66,000. If that breaks, that's kind of like one of those canaries in the coal mine. You see it and you go, oh crap, do I have any risk out there? What am I holding that might, not look so good if things turn lower? That's how I view Bitcoin. No more, no less. There's no reason to really, for me to go, oh, I need to buy Bitcoin because there's a halving. Oh, there's a new ETF coming out. No, Bitcoin's more just a risk beta play at this moment in time.
I think we're going to 40.
Maybe Dale,
I've been
but
saying that for a while.
here's the counter argument technically.
Yeah,
That's a big cup and handle
flag.
pattern.
Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah, that's a cup.
So I'll
That's
buy
a
it at 55. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if it breaks 55, I would so agree with you. That 200-day goes and we are going to 40. I would be as convinced as I could be convinced in the markets that was happening. But I am very skeptical about shorting it up here
Well,
because
maybe it has to make one more new high and clean out the bears first.
maybe. I don't know. Again, I don't have any. I can argue technically on both sides, so I don't, and
Yeah,
I
it's
have
hard.
no.
There you go. It's hard to have conviction today, isn't it, guys?
Yes, yeah.
After
K-Man, what do you
this
think
week,
about that?
About Bitcoin?
No,
about
about having
conviction.
conviction.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I've been saying for so long. I mean, I used to have like positions for 3-6 months, and since actually the pandemic, I'm struggling to find stuff for more than maximum a couple of weeks, and even intraday the picture changes. How many saloon doors have we taken in all kinds in over the past months or even years? I mean. And again, we're talking about the euro getting hammered. We are not at 104, 103, 102 or parity. We are still at 106.85. It's not like as if the euro lost 5%. We are 2% from the highs,
Right.
of the latest range. And that is what makes everything so difficult right now. And because all the bond market, you look at the US yields, you look at the bond market, oh, the bond market is going up. But then look at all the others. They are doing exactly the same. It's one big pot of gnat, the bond market still. Okay, now you have those different um, um, sen, um, sensitivities in the French and everything, but it's still one big market. So and if it for as long as one big market, you're gonna have days where it goes up and days where it goes down, so to speak. Anything. And yeah, I think it's a tough market to find really the one big structure.
Right. And it's scary when it is that way. And I find myself with you, K-Man. I'm always trading like quarter size, half size. And then, by the way, we have some Canadian manufacturing
Yeah,
and
definitely.
data coming out, but and import prices. But I just want to say that I find myself getting full size convicted trades maybe once a month for me, and saying
Mhm.
that's
And
not very often.
and you don't keep them for a month, do you? You keep them for a few days.
No, like literally a couple of days, and that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I mean
Yeah,
that is what I mean.
yeah,
It's by no means an easy market. I've been in the market for over 4 decades now, and I don't find it a very easy market. But there's always something to do. But you have to be willing, even if it would have gone further, to at least take bits and pieces off, to take profit, just to keep your account ticking over, and then you put your check your list to see if things are still valid or not, and if they're not, you get out of the position and you look at something else.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much the case. And speaking of which, if you guys want to know where, what positions we're taking, you in the ForexAnalytix chat room, you just jump in the trades room. Not just Kman and myself, a lot of different traders are in there putting in what they're buying, what they're selling, and and it's not to follow. I try to explain that to people. It's more of knowing what we're doing. Like, if you respect what Kman says or what I say, and you're like, I like to listen to these guys, and I like to know how they're positioned in the market. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm just trying to mirror what these guys are doing. You're never going to learn anything that way. But if I'm short the euro and you're like, I'm getting long here, and you're like, wait a second, Blake's short the euro. Let me ask him why he's short. That's the whole reason why we have our community. So you can see what we're doing, but you can actually talk to us, and you can actually approach us and people in the community and chat with them, and not talk about politics or religion or anything like that. And you got a great place to do all your research too, because you got a great news and research tab and different articles and commentary to follow. So anyway, jump in the ForexAnalytix community. Dale, do you have an interview today?
No.
Oh, thank God it's Friday, baby. Thank God it's Friday. Well, Dale, let me ask you this. So on a Friday, on a day like this, when the markets are looking a little vulnerable, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm going to do a lot of work over the weekend and come up with a plan for what I'm going to do next week. So that's it. I mean, the only
Oh,
thing I'm holding is still Canadian shorts because it's showing relative weakness even when the dollar's strong. So that's it. That's the only thing I have to worry about over the weekend is USD CAD.
all right. All right. K-Man, what are you thinking over the weekend?
I want to sleep. No, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep a close eye on what those South Africans say in Parliament, because they have a government. It's apparently been decided that it's ANC, DA, and then what is the other one? IFP, the real smaller one. I'll see what they say in Parliament, because I'm getting ready to catch a knife there if we get to low 18s in the dollar rand. Could be. We're hanging around a bit of a traffic zone here. So this is what I'm going to keep an eye out for the weekend, and then what else? I'm going to be very interested in seeing where the equity markets are closing tonight. It could be a really interesting one if we are on, at, above, below this 53, 70, 80 in S&P. Could drive a few things on the open on Monday.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to be putting in definitely the hard work into the I say hard work because there's so much going on next week with central banks. We have the RBA next week. We have the Bank of England next week. I think we have the Riksbank. I believe Norges central bank too. I got to go back and take a look. But there's a few central banks that are meeting this next week. So it's going to be a pretty big one. On top of that, you got some nice technical reversals setting up. So depending on how things close this week, it could really be setting us up for a wild week next week. So I want to say the best place to be is right here on the F.A.C.E show and also on the Flow show. K-Man, thank you so much for covering that today. I know Ryan was out because why is he out? Is he out watching football again?
No, I think they've got some activity with the kids today and
Got it.
into Monday. So on Monday I'll be flying solo as well. But no, it's not a problem. We're here to serve the community.
There you go. So if you guys don't know how to listen to K-Man on Monday, make sure you go to the webinars tab on ForexAnalytix. The Flow show's right there. There's a link to log in there. And I just want to say appreciate everybody listening in every single day here on the F.A.C.E show, and I hope that these shows do keep you abreast of what's happening in the markets on a daily basis. So
They do.
yeah, and Dale, I'm going to pass it back over to you, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kay, for being here all week and dropping pearls. Your pearl today was to take little pieces along the way to keep
Yeah.
your account going in this kind of environment. Really important that people do
And
that and not be all or nothing traders.
and can I give you another pearl of wisdom to on this
Yeah,
Blessed Friday, Dale?
sure.
Trading is like going to the restaurant. It's not because you look at the whole menu that you have to eat everything. So choose your instruments wisely.
From a foodie, that is really a classic piece of advice. And I know you're a foodie. Am I
I
right?
am. I'm a foodie and a whitey.
All right.
And a
Okay.
whiny.
You know how you could tell when men are over 40
Oh
and
my,
they're in a restaurant? Do you know how?
no.
They ask for the menu first before they order a drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Then I must still be very young.
you are. You're young at heart. You wino. You're
He
very
see,
young at
K-Man says, "Show me the wine list. I don't care about that.
Exactly.
Give me the wine
That's the
list."
first thing I do.
Yeah.
All right.
I pick my
I,
restaurants based on wine list.
K-Man, we haven't. I'm with you, buddy. We're young at heart. How about that?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, be young at heart, everyone, because your body won't stay the same way. So make your heart, you could stay young. And also stay liquid, stay in tune in June, join the community. And, even during choppy weeks like this, there are guys pulling pips out of the market. And when they're wrong, they're not getting blown away. So that's really the key. The first thing you have to learn is how to survive. And being around pros, if they're paying attention or you're asking for direction, they're not going to let you blow yourself up. Of course, you're the only one responsible for clicking your mouse. And that's going to be a wrap, everyone. Oh, we laid it on the floor. It was a difficult week. Um, uh, I didn't have any home run balls this week. So maybe next week I'll see the pitch I like. There's always another trade, always another bus coming around the corner. So really, the weekend's a great time to have your plan. So you're not analyzing on the fly during the week, you're executing. And with that being said, enjoy your families and your time this weekend. Um, be grateful, and we'll see you all Monday. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and enjoy your time because money comes and goes. Time is gone forever. So thanks again, Blake. Okay. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, team.
Thank you,
All right.
coach. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
All right.
Coach.
All right.
Thanks, K-Man.
And see you guys, everyone here attending and watching the video. I hope we're adding value to what you're trying to accomplish. And that's a wrap. So Blake, you have to close it down. I think you have. No, I got it. All right. So
All right.
all right. So adios, everyone. If you're a member, Morning Edge coming up. If you're not a member, join. Check out the Morning Edge and get a screenshot of the bias chart. So you have some real good levels to pay attention to. See everyone Monday. Adios.
Ciao, Coach.
See you guys.